Good morning, everyone. Here we are again for another Hatton's live session, taking a look at some of the best model railways and locomotives out there on the market today. This morning, we're looking at the Heljan OO9 Lynton and Barnstaple 262s. We'll be taking a closer look at the history, some of the details of the specific locos that you see here as well, some up-close and personal photos, and of course, as always, if you have any questions relating to the locos, please put them in the Q&A and I'll answer them throughout the stream as well. Now, OO9 scale, it's a little bit of an unusual one, but it's certainly growing over the last few years. It is the same scale, 176, as 00 gauge, runs on the same width track as N gauge at 9mm, but it is a model of the various different narrow gauge railways that run across England, the British Isles, and indeed the world as well. It works out at roughly 2-foot gauge rather than the standard 4-foot 8.5 inch of the normal UK railway system, the standard gauge as it is called. But these particular locomotives have got to be from one of the most iconic and well-known narrow gauge railways in the UK. And the Lynton and Barnstaple Railway opened in 1898 in southwest England, running from Lynton to Barnstaple, as you've probably guessed by the name. There was 3 of these 262 locomotives built. There was YAO, TOR and X as well. All of them were scrapped in 1935, but 2 new engines were built as well. You've got number 188, LU, which was provided in 1925, and also LID, number 190, which was actually a replica built in the early 2000s and used on the Festiniog Railway. Now, the story goes that LU still survives. Apparently it was shipped to Brazil rather than scrapped. So it may be that it's the only original Lynton and Barnstaple loco surviving, but there's certainly replicas on the way, and one that already exists in the form of LID, number 190, which you can see has carried a few liveries throughout its preservation life as well. So I'll give you a bit of a close-up of the models, and we'll show you some of the finer details of those as well. So this is a start from Heljan's model, which produced the original 3 members of the class, the YAO, TOR and X models. This is an upgraded model with various different features and tooling differences to represent number 188 and number 190 as well. I've already got a few people jumping on the chat there. Good morning to see you all as well. And as said, if you do have any specific questions regarding these locos, do put them in the chat too. So Heljan's model, fully die-cast chassis in there as well. It's, as you can see on the screen at the moment, absolutely jam-packed with details. You can see in the carpet of number 188 on the left there, you've got the fully detailed and fully painted bits and pieces. You've got the number plate and the numbers on the back. Now, the livery on the right is a little bit unusual. It's actually British Railways black. And you'll see that by the early crest on the side of the cab and the BR style number plate as well. This was done when the replica was first made in 2010, as if the railway had survived into British Railways days from 1948 onwards. So quite interesting to see it there in that fully lined BR black. But we'll show off one of the authentic liveries as well, if I bring that round for you. This is number 188. Now, you'll notice that these come without nameplates. They are provided in the detailing pack for you to fit. You've got quite a comprehensive detailing pack there as well, including couplings which slot in, which match with all the OO9 narrow gauge couplings out there. You've got both nameplates for both sides. You have the vacuum brake pipes as well that are attached on the side. You've also got a fully comprehensive instruction booklet, which gives you information on how to hit those, and a bit of a potted history on the locos as well. So got a question from Ben Davis there saying, out of all these, which one do I like the most? Now I'll pop back to the camera there for you, because I think you've seen the one I like for certain, which is the 188 there. This is LU, and as we mentioned in the potted history before, this was the 4th locomotive built for the railway in 1925. This was the one that may still survive in Brazil, but again, not a lot of people know that this railway was owned by the Southern Railway. It's one of the few narrow gauge lines to be operated by one of the big 4 railway companies. So you can see the loco there in the Mornsel green, which is a really striking colour, but you've also got the BR black livery behind there as well. Everything you see here on the screen at the moment is how the locos come out of the box, and all the details on there. So you've got the fitted headlamps, which do work, the fully fitted glazing, the various brass piping details, the whistle, the cow catchers as well. This is how the locomotives come out of the box. So as ever, all the details are available in the description. They start at 186.96, and that's for all 4 locomotives you have here. Great question from Tristan there. What carriages and wagons did you haul that are available? There is a growing range of OO9 rolling stock available now, especially for the Lynton and Barnstaple Railway as well. You can get various wagons from Pico and coaches from Pico as well, in a variety of liveries from the start of the railway in 1898 right through to the Southern Railway liveries that you see here, and a few that have survived into preservation as well. So do click that link in the description, not only for more information on the Lynton and Barnstaple locos here, but also a lot of appropriate rolling stock for them too. And Upwell and Onwards has asked, how lengthy a train could one of these locos pull? Now, in real life, they're expected to pull about 6 or 7 coaches, especially number 190 on the steep gradients of the Festiniog Railway. And with that heavy die-cast chassis in there, you've got a coreless motor as well, full digital capacity too. You really do have a lot of grunt in this, and they can easily handle 6, 7, 8 coaches on a standard OO9 layout as well. Anthony Beavis there saying one of the Southward locomotives, that's the Freefoot Railway down in the southeast of England, that managed to get over to Colombia. So there certainly is a history of these locomotives being exported as they were used. And John there has asked, will they run straight out of the box safely without any modifications? You are absolutely correct there, John. These locomotives that I put on my camera here for you are straight out of the box. You can use these as you wish. The only modifications you will need is to put the couplings on them that do come in the detailing pack, but that's really easy to do, and there's details included in the instructions there as well. Leon there, thanks a lot for the great questions this morning as well, guys, keeping them coming thick and fast. They are indeed DCC ready. They're 6-pin digital ready. You've got space for a normal 6-pin decoder in there, and again, click that link in the description, and we've got more information on our site as to which decoder we recommend for these. But otherwise, they run straight out of the box on an analog layout. We've had a few questions regarding the radius as well. They will get down to 9-inch radius. It's recommended, as ever, that if you have got a bit of a leaner radius, shall we say, a more forgiving radius, that they will run better through it. But if you have got some tight curves and point work on your narrow gauge layout, they will handle it without many issues at all. So these really are something a little bit special, and it is a growing range that's coming through in the last couple of years as well. Just again, show some of the really finer details. You can see the fully working valve gear there as well. You have the separately fitted whistles, pipe work on the top, a lot of extra handrails, vacuum brake pipes, working lamps, cow catchers on there as well. Now, you will notice a lack of buffers as well, which is quite unusual for standard gauge railways, but really common on a narrow gauge line. And that's one of the things I really want to emphasize here. If you are looking for a brand new project and you're looking for something a little bit different to model, you've maybe modelled UK model railways for quite some time and fancy getting into something new, OO9 really is the way to go. There's a growing range, as a lot of you have already commented as well. And starting with these Lynton and Barnstaple locos, you can get appropriate coaches, rolling stock, wagons, even some of the buildings from the stations along the line are available in the same scale as well. There's a lot of track available from Pico too, and it really is a scale that's going up and up and up, and especially with models of this quality as well, as you can see on the screen here, it really is worth taking a look at. And they're quite small as well, really. They're only just over a couple of inches long, but they do pack a punch. Again, we've got that fully die-cast chassis in there. You've got the 6-pin digital capacity. You've got a coreless motor, which sits just above the first 2 driving wheels there too. You've got pickups on every single wheel, including the pony wheels. And this particular model, well, I think so anyway, it's really finished off by those white wall tyres on the side. some of the high definition on the printing, including the builder's plate at the back of the cab there as well. SLD51's just asked what the minimum radius is. It's recommended for 9-inch radius on these. So really, you can get around quite a tight curve with them, but it is recommended if you have a little bit more, do give them a bit more leeway, shall we say, but you can get them around some really tight curves, including Pico set track, 009 track and curves as well. Just let you get one more closer look there as well. I'll bring around Lou again for you. And this is another great opportunity. If you're already familiar with a lot of locomotives in these liveries, you may have seen various different tank engines in the Southern Railway livery, our own P-Class, Hornby's Terrier as well. And this is also a way to still stick with some of your favourite companies. If you're a BR modeller or a Southern modeller as well, you can stick with those particular variations, but have something a little bit different. Maybe an interchange there too on your layout, with standard gauge changing over to narrow gauge. But if one of the standard liveries isn't for you, you've got 188, 190 in the Southern Railways livery. You've got 190 again in the BR livery. There is a completely plain variation available as well. This was how number 190 was first released into traffic when the replica was built back in 2009, I believe. But this is great to have an opportunity there to customize this loco yourself as well. It only has the builder's plate on it, so you can fit on whatever name, whatever slogan, whatever company name you wish there as well. You could even repaint it into your own color if you wanted to do that too. Upwell and onwards there, saying a lot of narrow gauge locos had central buffer couplers. That's exactly the same with the Lynton and Barnstaple. You can't quite see it there as they don't come pre-fitted on the models, but in real life and the couplings in the accessory pack are those joint buffers and couplers too. But on the model, it's the standard hook coupling, the standard 009 style hook coupling, so it will work with all the 009 stock out there as well. So some really, really good stuff on there. And got a comment there saying I'm late, and of course you can watch these streams back afterwards as well, so don't worry about being late. If you haven't caught it live, it's available to watch right back from the start as well. But just to give you a summary, they are quite a quirky looking locomotive, but at the same time they are from one of the most famous railways, famous narrow gauge railways in the UK. There's a lot of fans out there, especially when the new locomotive number 190 was built and put into traffic about 10 years ago. There is a section of the line that's reopened as well from Woody Bay, and the intention is to reopen the whole line from Lynton to Barnstaple again. So it closed in 1935, but there are volunteers out there who are working to reopen the line, rebuild some of the original locomotives as replicas, with the first one, number 190A, already in operation. But if you're fancying building yourself and you're not quite up to the task of building a full-size 20-mile railway, you can pick one up right now. If you check out that link in the description, we've got information on the prices. They start at £186.96. We've got information on the accompanying rolling stock, which starts at around £25 upwards for the wagons and coaches as well. All the info on the track. We can give you the spec on how to fit a digital decoder as well, although a lot of information is included with the manual that you get. And you also even get a little extra manual that they've included just for a couple of troubleshooting bits and pieces. Got time for just one last question there. We'll make it a good one. SLD51's asked if they will run on N-gauge tracks and points. They certainly will indeed. So if you are looking at getting a 009 setup, but maybe you just want a locomotive to try it out and you're already an N-gauge modeler, the track width is exactly the same. So you'll be able to put these locomotives on an N-gauge layout. They might look a little bit out of place as the scale's the same as 00, but at the same time, you can get them running, you can give them a try, and then when you're ready to expand into 009 gauge, narrow gauge modelling, you've already given your loco a go and given it something to try. So I hope I've inspired you to maybe take a look at narrow gauge modelling. It certainly is something that's on the up and coming, and with models like this that you see here and the quality that they're coming through at, it really is worth a closer look. You can find all the details in the description. Click that link to find out more. If you've any other questions, thanks again for some great ones this morning. But if you've any more you'd like to know, leave a comment on the video, put a post on our Facebook page, email or give us a call via the usual channels as well. And don't forget to subscribe to YouTube and like our Facebook page as well for more like this. We'll be doing videos every day this week as well. Otherwise, hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learned a little bit more about the Lynton and Barnstaple Railway and some of the high quality models that are available from Heljan and others too. Otherwise, see you again soon and thanks for coming. Take care.